been my favorite state name in Brazil. It's also a great flag as well. They, of course, hosted the United States national team in the 1950 and 2014 World Cup. Both defeats for the USA, so maybe some of our listeners don't have fond memories. But the 5th largest city in Brazil and sending their largest club to come play in this tournament. Recife now pushing the ball out left, working it throughout the midfield, dominating possession very early on in this game. They controlled the game throughout yesterday, winning 2-0. The Red Bulls Recife works the ball back along the center back line. Center back pairing of Francisco and Iago. Back now across the midfield. Fabricio pushing it to his midfield partner, João Eric. Now, John, first day, New York Red Bulls got a win. Not a lot of MLS teams, though, were able to get a win. So the Red Bulls coming in here now, trying to continue to stay on top of this table.
Yeah, of the two first game results from this group, Recife beating Seattle, or beg your pardon, beating Seattle, and New York beating Houston. You'd say Recife was more impressive. New York got on top of Houston early. Not a lot more in that one. So Recife certainly favored coming into this one, as many of the international teams have been.
And the goal scorer in that game, the captain and the center back, Mason Deeds, one of the few players on this team that was in this tournament as well last year. And we've seen a few teams come in with no players who have played in this tournament. It looks like it helps to have a veteran or two in your squad.
Yeah, certainly 3 returning for the Red Bulls who were in the Champions Division last year. Mason Deeds, key among those. Came off the bench last year, still very good experience playing on this field, actually.
Corner kick comes in. Still alive in the middle of the box. Finally into the safe hands of Xavier Kennedy. Xavier Kennedy, one of the many players on this team, born in 1999.
Yeah, it's a younger group than we've seen some years for the Red Bulls. 98s are eligible for this tournament. It's players born 1998 and later. It's a good mixture of 98s and 99s. No 2000s. I wish we have seen some teams. Meanwhile, for Recife, older club, every single player born in 1998.
And we've seen that across the board for the international teams coming in outside of really Athletic Bilbao. I think most of the teams coming in with older rosters from the internationals.
I talked to Alfonso Mondelo about the quality of the international competition. He's the technical director overseeing the youth level and overseeing this tournament. He said we want to challenge our teams. We want to challenge the MLS teams to take on technical clubs, to take on older clubs, and learn how to play. And if they lose, okay, we need to learn how to get better. And certainly this year we need the international clubs to really be a step up from the 3 that were here last year.
And one of the men standing a few feet behind us, known around here as Poppy, Coach Oscar Pareja, talked about it a little bit watching his original team in Independiente Medellin and said over the last 3-4 years, the quality in this tournament has really, really raised. And he thinks that that's a big part of the better production that they're having of youth players throughout Major League Soccer. So a free kick opportunity here for Recife. Whipped in with the right foot, still alive in the box. Red Bulls yet to clear and finally do. Mason Deeds with the header out. As the referee does call offsides.
Very familiar look from Recife in terms of the positioning. We often see these Brazilian teams come in. It's very set. The center forward is going to be a big shouldered guy. He's going to be able to play back to goal. The center backs as well. A little bit more assigning players roles earlier in their careers, it seems. They're really comfortable in those spots.
Farisco knocked down there. Oh, excuse me, and a penalty. It's going to go to Allison, the captain, coming out of the midfield, making that run. John, you disagree?
There was contact. Mangachos is the one who's going to get called for the foul. But he went down very easily. Here's a look at it.
And the Red Bulls coach behind us saying shoulder to shoulder as well. Mangachos, like you said, number 5 out of center midfield. Getting called, trying to help out his center backs coming back there. Allison is the one that goes down. It looks like he's going to step up. I know a lot of people have different ideas about getting fouled and then taking the shot. In Germany, the saying is the one who's fouled never shoots. But clearly in Brazil, it's a little bit different. Not the first PK we've seen here in this tournament. Let's see if Allison can put it away and put his team up 1-0. The shot and in. Xavier Kennedy guessing the wrong way. Allison getting it started early for this Recife team as they try and maintain first place in this group.
Yeah, the Red Bulls are going to be frustrated with this start. Good composure from Allison, just sending Kennedy the wrong way. And really, for New York, this is going to go back to the call. They didn't think it was a penalty kick in the first place. Now you have to play from behind against a really technical team in Recife. So, very good start yesterday for the Red Bulls. Mason Dietz scored early against Houston. Today, totally different story. They're going to have to come from behind.
New York Red Bulls early on, trailing 1-0. The first goal they've conceded in this tournament. Playing in the Premier Division, a heartbreaking loss to the Philadelphia Union to really end up here in that game.
Toronto won the East region, and Philadelphia and the Red Bulls were tight in the standings. They played the last game against each other. Philadelphia won it head-to-head in the last minute. That gave them the tiebreaker over the Red Bulls, put them in the Champions Division.
This New York Red Bulls Academy team is rated the #1 club in the United States right now by TopDrawSoccer.com. And they have a lot to show for themselves. They came in, got a win early on. You can see a little bit of the chip on the shoulder from not being in the championship division.
Unbeaten in Development Academy play. We told you about the loss in qualifying, but the Red Bulls typically one of the top programs. Usually we see them in the top group of this tournament. So a lot of experience and experience winning coming from behind even for the Red Bulls.
Saramago deep in the corner there, losing possession. Thariso called for a handball, it looked like, on that chest control. And now New York Red Bulls a chance to restart the play. Push into the attack a little bit. Haven't had a lot of time on the ball early on. And now have to work back from a 1-0 deficit. This, the second of a week-long tournament here in Dallas, located at Toyota Soccer Center. FC Dallas, a co-host of this tournament. And we're right beside their main stadium, which will host the finals here on Saturday of both divisions, Saturday morning and Saturday evening. We'll have all that action for you, of course, on MLSsoccer.com. We're going to be here all week, John. It's already been a pretty good 2 days.
Game after game coming your way. 3 games scheduled for Wednesday, which is the final day of group play, and then all 4 semifinals, 2 from the Premier Division and 2 heading to the Generation Adidas Cup final, all in a row on Thursday.
That cross pushed out for a corner kick. An opportunity now for the Red Bulls. It looks like Jared Gilby is going to push over that far side to take the service. Mason Dietz, the center back, moving up. He scored in their last game.
Gilby, one of those who was here last year but didn't see a lot of playing time, trying to contribute now.
Right-footed service comes in alive. Dietz did get ahead to it. Looked like it went off his shoulder and up over the top. First good look, though, for the Red Bulls of this game.
Yeah, Mason Dietz is the guy we expected to be the target, and Recife, if they didn't know it from watching yesterday's games, is going to know it very quickly here today.
So for attacking-wise for this Red Bulls team, J.P. Marin just sits right behind the striker, Saramago. Try to create from that area. Marin, a lot of experience with the U17, U15, U14 team. This Red Bull team, a lot of players coming in with U.S. national team experience, which should give them a little bit of advantage against this international opposition. Recife, one of 2 Brazilian clubs here for this tournament. The other one, Palmeiras, who also got out to a quick start. A 4-0 victory yesterday over the Philadelphia Union. We'll have them on our stream this afternoon, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. local time. Should be another great matchup. Saramago, space here, gets it on his right foot. He's in one-on-one with the keeper. Big save in the end. 4 looked like Matias, the goalkeeper. And Red Bulls now 2 good opportunities to tie this game up. Saramago there couldn't finish it off.
Yeah, JP Marin flicked that one on, and Saramago got plenty of power behind it, got it up high. Good reaction from Matias.
Corner kick coming in now for the Red Bulls. Flicked on at the near post. Alive for a second, it looked like, for Gilby. Pushes out wide to Teixeira. Teixeira losing possession, in on a nasty tackle. Referee makes no call. The Recife bench is up in arms right there next to it. It happened right in front of them. Not happy, and their player, can't identify yet, is still down on the field. Trainers coming out now for Sport de Recife. We'll look to see who it is down on the ground. And it looks to be, for them, the right winger, Pedro Vitor. Vitor getting a little bit of help now. Holding it, looks like his left leg. Teixeira there lost his first touch, went in, couldn't really see the tackle. The referee clearly didn't think it was a foul. The Sport Recife bench was right on top of it, and they were up in arms.
We've seen these Brazilian wingers. It's not a surprise to anybody, but terrific one-on-one skills. We've seen it from Recife, we've seen it from Palmeiras, and last year we saw it from Flamengo. And so those are the guys who are going to be on the receiving end of those hard challenges. But returning to the field right away, Pedro Vitor, good sign for Recife.
It's a throw-in now for Recife to try and clear their lines. Still alive now. The Red Bulls able to pick it up in the opposition end. DeAndrea, excuse me. Still battling. It goes out, called out against the Red Bulls. It'll be a throw-in now for Recife. So the Red Bulls came out, give up an early goal on a penalty kick, but now have forced a little bit the issue offensively in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a really good response. It's exactly what Simon Nee was going to want to see. We told you this is an experienced team. They're used to winning. One goal is not going to get them down, especially that early in the game. So good response so far. The question obviously will be finishing in the final third.
And early on this field yesterday, we had Portland versus Independiente Medellin, and Portland felt like maybe they showed the international club a little bit too much respect. Looks like the Red Bulls here digging in a little bit more early on, feeling themselves level in this game. Stolen away by the Red Bulls. Played down the line and out of bounds, by the referee. So it'll be Recife throw-in. Early on here, it looks like for the Red Bulls, a player having to come off a bleeding nose. So I'll have to get that taken care of. It looks to me that it's Rodrigo DeAndrea, who we saw get involved in a couple tackles up in the offensive half. This one guided out of bounds by Richard Wolf.
Yeah, it's going to drop the Red Bulls a little bit deeper until he can come back in. You're obviously not going to burn one of your subs this early for something that simple.
And in this tournament, 2 35-minute halves are played, a 10-minute halftime in between. 5 substitutions allowed for both teams. You cannot return once you are substituted out. The Red Bulls, a little bit of a tough situation. Kyle Perno is not here because of an exam. He came to the tournament and had to leave to go back to New York to take that. 2 players coming in with injuries are doubtful for this game, so the Red Bulls may not actually have the players to use that full complement of 5 substitutions. And it looks like Rodrigo De Andrea will return, but with a switched jersey due to the blood, so now wearing number 25. He slots back into the midfield. Good steal there by Sean Teixeira.
It's good preparation from the equipment staff. You see that at the first team level. Sometimes you see guys have to enter with no number because that's what is required at the pro level, but at this level, a number switch is okay.
We saw this weekend Pedro Ribeiro scoring a goal for Orlando City, not having a name or a number on his jersey.
Speaking of Brazilians.
Recife here with the throw-in. Flicked away by Kyle Casey. Guilherme, the left back, playing it up to the forward's chest. Thariso has done some good work with his back to goal so far in this game. He's been alone a lot up top until Recife can bring him support out of the midfield. That support out of the midfield, though, did get them their 1 goal. The captain, Allison, making the run into the midfield, getting fouled in the box, and then dispatching the penalty kick early in this game to give his team a 1-0 lead. Recife still yet to give up a goal so far in this tournament. Great work on the outside here from Everton. Picked up again by Recife. Good job from DeAndrea to get back and help out defensively. Noah Powder caught upfield here. The turnover, plenty of space for Recife to cross. Gets it to the right foot. Cross comes in. Thariso with the header. His first opportunity on goal so far in this game, and he can't direct it on frame. Goes out for a goal kick for Xavier Kennedy. Noah Powder caught upfield there in possession. As a player capable of scoring a goal, was down at the U17 CONCACAF World Cup qualifying with the Trinidad and Tobago national team. Scored 2 goals, including one against one of his teammates in Zaire Bartley on the Jamaican national team, and one against his former teammate Tyler Adams with the USA national team. Back here playing left back for this Red Bulls Academy team. Thariso on the ball again. Gets by Deeds. The cross there from Pedro Vitor, blocked. Thariso turns. Playing it cleanly back to his center back in Iago. Cross coming in towards Pedro Vitor, headed away by Teixeira. And Powder looking to clear. DeAndrea, who's had a lot of work to do so far in this game, including going off and having a quick costume change, gets himself back into the play. The Red Bulls, 2 good scoring opportunities early on, one from a corner kick for Mason Deeds, the other one for the striker, Brian Saramago, which he wasn't able to put home. Maybe a third opportunity here. Strong touch, though, off the foot. It looked like of Kyle Casey pinching in to help out Saramago. He wasn't able to get it under control. Red Bulls are creating some openings about 20 minutes in to this first half here. As DeAndrea coming back again, continuing to bleed, so the trainer will have to look at him. The Red Bulls once again will be playing man down here in a game which definitely don't want to be in that type of situation. The team that looks so comfortable in possession. The Red Bulls will look to push forward and try and get the tying goal. If games do end tied, it will go to penalty kicks for 1 additional point to the penalty kick winner, as fantastic footwork in the corner there by Thariso. The striker dropping very deep to pick up possession and help his team out. Recife works it out of the back, gets it to their fullback, Guilherme. Come up to the field, down the line for Pedro Vitor, who can't control it, and it goes out for a throw-in. Teixeira will take. Possession taken back by Recife. Good switch of the field there by the center midfielder, João Eric. Now Recife a chance to push high. The goal scorer here, Allison. Long strike coming in. Kennedy knocking it down, keeping it in, and making the save. It looked like it was wide of the frame. Kennedy, though, wasn't sure, made the save. A little bit of a fumble, but no pressure on him. The Red Bulls struggling to get it out of their half right now over the past 5 minutes. Recife doing a good job picking up possession high. Mason Deeds, though, stealing it off the forward, going on a long run, trying to give his Red Bulls attackers an extra option. Through ball coming in here. JP Marin. He can't get to it first. Beaten out by the center back in Francisco. Tharciso losing possession. Mason Deeds and Tharciso have been in a very entertaining battle early on. Two hardened veterans, two of the bigger players on the field battling it out for some aerial possession. Great through ball coming in there, called offsides in the end. The ball there from Kyle Casey, the right-footed through ball, but Saramago called offsides. Saramago called offsides. He had the best opportunity of the game so far, was put in on frame. His shot directly at the goalkeeper, Matias. If he put it either side, it looked like he had an opportunity to level this game up for the New York Red Bulls. Just over 10 minutes left to play here in the first half. The two leaders of this group fight it out here in the second game on the second day of the Generation Adidas Cup. On MLSsoccer.com, I'm David Goss. I will be joined by Jonathan Yardley once again in the future. But currently we're watching the Red Bulls here battle it out against Brazilian opposition, Sport Club de Recife. Currently the first team sitting in the relegation zone in the first division, the Serie A of the Brazilian League. Great history for this club, over 40 state championships, Copa Libertadores and Copa Sudamerica appearances, as well as Brazilian League and National Cup titles. One of the largest followings of any club in all of Brazil. And for anyone down in Brazil watching this game, we welcome you into the stream here on MLSsoccer.com. Cross coming in there from Pedro Vitor. Cleared all the way over to the far side till Calveni. Recife comfortable early on in possession, never looking too harried, too rushed. And Rodrigo de Andrea has returned to the field once again, sporting a third jersey and a third number. He went from 17 to 25 and now has switched to 22. We'll see if maybe his style will change. Pedro Vitor, a chance here. Teixeira, a necessary tackle in the box. Goes to ground but wins the ball. Red Bulls looking to push out. Recife has done a good job this game. Every time they've lost possession in the offensive half, of winning it back quickly. Coming down the side now, the captain, Allison. Quick touch from him. Pedro Vitor has had a lot of space out here on the left wing. Cuts back, comes into pressure. Well read in the end there by Mingachos. The switch of the field coming there from Saramago. De Andrea back on the field with the new number. Good step over from him. Left-footed shot, powered right past the face of goal. It looked like it was going to make it in to Macias's corner. That left-footed strike from that far side. Good step over from him to get that space. You see here, pushing it on to his left foot. Rips that shot across the face of goal. looks like it was going to bury itself in the corner just wide. The New York Red Bulls, a third great goal-scoring opportunity goes wanting as they look to tie this game up here against Recife. The Red Bulls trying to push in, continue to fight for this next goal. Recife has played beautifully so far throughout this tournament, as have a number of the international teams. Eintracht Frankfurt, a 5-0 victory in their first game against San Jose, who we'll see later today. But Frankfurt looking strong. Palmeiras, we already mentioned, a 4-0 victory. They'll face off against San Jose. Another team looking strong, Independiente Medellin, got an early victory over the Portland Timbers. Free kick comes in here. Mason Deeds is open. Once again, you got to think the scouting report is there for this Recife team. Mason Deeds scored yesterday, the big center back. He's now had 2 opportunities in this game off set pieces. He just hasn't been able to get it down on frame. Another good look for this New York Red Bulls team goes by. This Recife team coached by Junior Camara. Thorsize gets it wide to Kelveni. Kelveni on his left foot. Kennedy reads that cross and gets out. Immediately rolling out to the fullback, Teixeira. Teixeira can't save it. He does in the end save it. Great work from him. Out of bounds in the end. Kyle Casey, looks like miscommunication there with Teixeira. Left it for his fullback. Wasn't able to save that ball. Recife now a chance to push back on the counter. And interesting to see Kelveni and Pedro Vitor, the 2 wingers, have swapped sides. John was telling you about the quality in width that we've seen from the Brazilian clubs. The 2 this year as well as Flamengo last year. And now a first yellow card is shown. It's going to go to the holding midfielder, João Eric, for Recife. So the first card we've seen shown in this game. 3 yellow cards accumulated in this tournament will lead to a 1-game suspension. You play 3 group stage games. All teams that are here are guaranteed at least 5 games. The winner of each premier group will go into the semifinals to win that division. In the championship group, 3 champions group, 3 groups. The 3 group winners and the best second place team will head to the semifinals as well to play for an opportunity to go into the big stadium, Toyota Stadium of FC Dallas, and face off for the Generation Adidas Cup. Throw in from De Andrea, sporting his 3rd shirt of the day. Very fashionable of him. Andrea turns, gets hit by a ball cleared out into his face. He's been having trouble with a bleeding nose all game, and now the clearance goes straight off his face, and we'll see if he has to go back to the trainer. De Andrea has played some really strong minutes. He's fought hard when he's been out on the field, but struggling to keep himself out there so far with this unfortunate bleeding nose. This time the trainer will go out onto the field to help him. So we'll have a stoppage of play. The Red Bulls won't go man down, at least immediately. 1-0 lead here. The only goal coming from the penalty spot. The captain of this Recife team, Allison, drawing the penalty and then stepping up to the spot, calmly slotting it to his right. Kennedy guessed the wrong way for the Red Bulls, and it was a simple goal. 1-0 lead so far. Recife looks to take control of this group as the 2 undefeated teams face off. Garami now has connected well with Pedro Vitor. Let's see if he can do the same with Kelveni now that they've swapped wings. Francisco, the center back, very calm on the ball. Recife in no rush right now with the lead as we wind down to the last few minutes of the second half. Thorcizo losing possession there. He's done well with his back to goal throughout this game. Long ball over the top for Saramago. Saramago couldn't beat out the defender. Losing possession. The Red Bulls, right after they conceded a goal, pushed well the next 5-10 minutes, got themselves 3 or 4 really good goal-scoring opportunities, 2 set pieces. Mason Deeds had an opportunity on. Saramago, an opportunity himself, set up across as well for Kyle Casey that he couldn't finish. This Red Bulls team has not been efficient with their opportunities. Recife controlling possession. Really, though, their only goal-scoring opportunity in this game was the penalty kick, which they dispatched and got them this 1-0 lead. Francisco looks to guide that one out. Deep in the corner. And he can't. Forced to clear. New York Red Bulls do a good job pinning them in. Now an opportunity to throw it in deep in the attacking half. This New York Red Bulls team, one of the strongest academies, we said, in the country. Not only that, they have a great opportunity for their players to see the path to the first team. 3 of the players from last year's Generation Adidas Cup debuted on Saturday afternoon in their first ever professional soccer games for the newly minted New York Red Bulls 2 team in USL. And so an exciting opportunity for these players to see that path. One of their teammates, Tyler Adams, on that team, as well as Kyle Zajac. Kyle Casey out there on the left side. Looks to have swapped wings as well now with DeAndrea. Red Bulls some sustained possession now as this first half winds down. Called offsides, though, in the end for Gilby. Like we said in this game, 5 substitutions for both teams. Cannot return once you've been substituted for. This New York Red Bulls team potentially looking at some halftime substitutes to try and change up the pace of this game, maybe give them some more attacking flair or a different look. Kennedy looking to take the goal kick quickly. Gets it out to his captain's feet, Deeds. Saramago with the flick on. No one to get it to. Saramago at times has looked a little bit isolated as that center forward. New York Red Bulls coming out in a 4-2-3-1 formation. JP Marin hasn't had a lot of touches in that central number 10 role. Kyle Casey and DeAndrea on the 2 wings have seen more of the ball and more of the opportunities. DeAndrea had that fantastic strike that he powered just wide of the far post. As our referee will call to close the first half. So Sport Recife in first place in this group, currently standing. Coming in here, Allison, the captain, with the PK drawn and the lone goal as he dispatched it. Early in this first half, the Red Bulls fought back. 2 or 3 great goal-scoring opportunities, but they were not able to finish one off, and now they'll have a second half of 35 minutes to fight back, to get themselves back in the lead of this Generation Adidas Cup Premier Division group. I'm David Goss, and we'll be back in 10 minutes with all of your second half action on MLSsoccer.com.
That's it. What's going on? Good job, Scott. What's going on? Where do you leave right now? Chicago? Chicago or? Yeah, but where are you leave right now?
How you doing? game so far. Not a lot. DeAndrea. So, just so you know.
Okay.
DeAndrea Rodriguez.
Okay.
His nose is bleeding, so he changed from 17 to 25 to 22. So he's currently wearing 22. We don't know how long it'll last. But he's looked good. They had 2 looks. Saramago, the striker, had 1 look. He was pretty much in on goal. Defender to his side, hit it right at the goalie. Hit it strong, but right at the goalie. Then DeAndrea had a move on the left side. He had a good step over, pushed it to his left foot, and then ripped a shot, but wide of the far post. And they've had 2 looks for Mason Deeds, the center back, on set pieces. And besides that, they fought, but they gave up the early goal off the PK. And Recife has had more of the possession, but they haven't really had looks. What's the... I don't know. I'm sure these are live, so... What, not really. The PK, their Red Bulls are upset with it. It was shoulder to shoulder. Allison, the Brazilian, was head of the Red Bulls player, and so it was shoulder to shoulder, but kind of pushed him down in front of him. It wasn't a very physical play. The nosebleed's all been from getting him with the palm. So it actually hasn't been very physical. There's been 1 yellow card and 1 tough tap.
I was right about the yellow. It was number 8. Yeah, I checked it before.
Okay.
Finally.
I just don't want to see it.
Control. Yeah, I got it. Alright, we're ready? Go. Okay, so You don't know for you. Send us a video.
I am perfect too. I don't want to say that, but I am.
I like that.
They're opening the mics.
David Goss here for MLSsoccer.com in Frisco, Texas for the second day of the Generation Adidas Cup. U.S. Soccer royalty out here as Carlos Bocanegra, former United States men's national team captain, wanders behind us as he takes a gander at this New York Red Bulls Academy team facing off against Brazilian opposition in Sport de Recife. Recife playing a fantastic first half, getting the opening goal from their captain, Allison, off a controversial, the Red Bulls feel, penalty kick call. But they've dominated possession for most of it. Red Bulls, some good goal-scoring opportunities for them. They haven't been able to put any away. We will get you any second-half substitutions as soon as we are notified. Saramago here up top still. Red Bulls here, knocking out for a goal kick. One substitution so far in this first half. Jefferson Thiago of Recife substituting in for the striker Tharciso. Tharciso, the number 9, playing up top by himself, battling all game, isolated at times. Good work with his back to goal, but he gets replaced, and Jefferson Thiago scored one of their 2 goals yesterday, coming in as a substitute once again for Tharciso. Tharciso scored the opener. Jefferson Thiago with the second goal. This Recife team still yet to concede a goal in this tournament. DeAndrea with the ball back. Good ball over the top down the wing for Teixeira. Teixeira can't get it before it rolls out. This New York Red Bulls Academy team, a lot of youth national team experience, USU 13, 14, and 15 for some of the players on the bench. Some of the players in this starting lineup. The Red Bulls have their full complement of bench players warming up now. Their coach, Simon Nee, at halftime talking to the team, talking to them about what they have to do here in the second half. This team feels like they're good enough to beat this Recife team. They have to be careful a little bit in and around the box with their physicality. Not get called for a second penalty kick. Great layoff there by Saramago. Francisco getting in there, winning that ball. First half, Francisco playing a strong, Francisco playing a strong first half at center back. One card so far in this game. Fabricio, the center midfielder for Recife, did pick that one up. Our head referee, Les Stalamak, so far has had 1 yellow card and 1 penalty kick to give out. Allison, the goal scorer, sprays it wide. Calvini back now at his right midfield position. He started the game there. Pedro Vitor started the game out left for Recife. They swapped midway through the first half. And now they swap to start this second half again. See if they can create some opportunities for their forward, Jefferson Tiago, to pick up his second goal of the tournament. Recife has looked comfortable in possession, but have not really threatened that second goal in open play. The Red Bulls have had all of the goal-scoring opportunities since that penalty kick went in. Allison once again spraying it wide. Calveni coming in. Good cover there from Kyle Casey to head it away. Noah Powder there. Pushing all the way up the field. He gets pulled down from behind. And Les Stalamak's going to have his second work to do. Noah Powder flying up from that left back position. See if the referee does issue a yellow card here. Or if it's just a talking to. It looks like it's Zhao Eric who will receive a yellow card. So 2 yellow cards have been given out in this game, both to Recife center midfielders. One to Fabricio, the other one to Zhao Eric. Gilby over the ball here. Jared Gilby, one of the 1998 players on this team. Powder plays a good ball in for Kyle Casey. Casey gets to the end line, cross cuts in, blocked in the end by the center back, Iago. Quickly taken now. Cross cut out at the near post, it looks like again by Iago. Calveni looking to launch the counterattack. Powder slides in, but too late. The substitute, Jefferson Tiago, plays that ball wide right to Matthias Victor. And Matthias Victor called offsides in the end. Fortunate for the Red Bulls. It was a swift counterattack for this Recife team. Off that corner kick taken. Called for the offsides. As the Red Bulls now continue in possession. Great matchup here between the two teams leading their group in the Premier Division. New York Red Bulls with a 1-0 victory yesterday over the Houston Dynamo in Major League Soccer. Sport Recife with the 2-0 victory over the Seattle Sounders in their first group game, and now leading the New York Red Bulls 1-0. Iago switching it to his other center back, Francisco. Francisco, the long ball over the top. Teixeira does a good job to read that one out of the air. The touch brought down then. Out of bounds, the throw-in will go to the New York Red Bulls. DeAndrea here. Pushing up the field. Plays it down the wing to Saramago. Saramago beating one. Trying to chip it over one defender into the path of DeAndrea. DeAndrea has swapped numbers 3 times in this game due to a bloody nose, but has given the Red Bulls great minutes when he's been out there. Had that strong left-footed strike that flashed wide of the far post in the first half. Good build-up play there with Saramago. The Red Bulls try and continue to attack. Long strike comes in, knocked down, and eventually taken by Macias. That strike coming in from Ryan Mingachos. Mingachos, a lot of confidence there. Good first touch, got good power on it. Couldn't get it either side of the goalkeeper. Macias spilled it a little bit in front of him, but was able to clean it up before any Red Bulls player could get on the end of it. Calveni once again coming in off that wing, losing possession here. Great cutback now for the Red Bulls. Casey has some space on this left wing, trying to play Saramago in. Well intercepted, and now Recife once again trying to counterattack. Jefferson Tiago, the substitute. The slide tackle comes in from Teixeira. Tiago stays on the ball, loses possession in the end, and now the referee looked like he played advantage off the Teixeira slide tackle, and now calling it back for the set piece just on top of the 18. Best opportunity in the second half here for Recife. Sean Teixeira looks to be holding something a little bit, either on the slide tackle or on the shot. That looked like he blocked after the whistle. Standing over this set piece is Allison, as well as, I believe, Pedro Vitor. Vitor standing over with his left foot. Maybe it's Calveni. Vitor, number 11, middle of your screen, is back to us. A lot of conversation going on right now for this team. Looks like Fabricio, number 8, standing over it with the right foot. First, we're going to have a substitution. A yellow card has been issued by the referee, as we do have the substitution. We'll get you all that information. A lot going on right now, of course. Looks like for Recife, number 19, Ailton, has checked in place of number 7, Calveni. Shot coming in here, right-footed to that far post. Kennedy taking it out of the air easily. Shot coming in from Fabricio in the end. Right-footed strike, floated to that far post. We do have a substitution as well. Number 19, Ailton, checking in at right midfield. But first, Recife will have to defend. Saramago here tries to take his man on. And Iago, the center back, coming over to cover. A little bit upset that he wasn't able to keep that one in. He concedes the corner kick. Red Bulls an opportunity once again to get the tie. Gilby here with the right-footed service. Mason Dietz has been a target all game. To the far post, still alive now. Mingachos, we've seen, striking from the top box, tries to beat the defender and get across, and he can't keep it alive. So New York Red Bulls, another good set-piece opportunity that they can't take advantage of. So there was a yellow card issued to a New York Red Bulls player while they were trying to set up that wall. No one's sure of who it is right now. The referee, of course, has it in his book, and we'll get it to you as soon as we know. So 2 yellow cards so far issued to Recife, both to the center midfielders, Fabricio and João Eric. 1 issued now to the New York Red Bulls. A throw in here for Teixeira. 1-0 here. Saramago has the opportunity. Shot was deflected just over the top of the crossbar. A mistake for the Recife defense. Saramago, a quick opportunity, pounced it on it very well, just deflected by a defender and over the top of the goal. Kyle Casey here with Gilby. Gilby, the right-footed cross coming in, can't beat that first defender. A mistake there on the clearance. Pedro Vitor as well as Matias Victor trying to clear it at the exact same time. A little bit of high pressure from the Red Bulls. We haven't seen much. They've allowed this Recife team to work it around the back line. Recife looked dominating and in control in possession in the first half. Never really too worried. This Red Bulls team has raised their level of game here in the second half, forcing mistakes from Recife. Able to pick up possession now in the midfield much more consistently, create a more sustained attack. They had good looks in the first half, but not the majority of possession. Noah Powder once again. We've seen his attacking flair in this game. forcing the yellow card. Now getting forward from that left back position. Casey gets it to his feet. And a mistake in the end by Powder. He's been a great threat coming forward. He's really added to this Red Bulls attack when he's been able to get in and connect with his teammates. A throw-in coming now. Excuse me, a substitution first for Recife. Number 8, Fabricio, checking out. So throw-in's flicked on, can't keep it in. And he's replaced by number 15, Wellison. So Fabricio, one of the 2 players for Recife with a yellow card. So no longer in danger of picking up that red. And Wellison checking in his place. Looks to slot immediately into the center midfield.
Hi, Dave.
Jonathan Yardley, how are you today? Would you want to maybe potentially join me? I'm going to be watching the New York Red Bulls face off against Sport Recife from Brazil.
Oh, I can do that. I've been watching Sagan Tosu from Japan taking on DC United over to our left. Busy day here at the Toyota Soccer Center.
And that little bit of excitement we've seen, people really want to watch these international teams, see what they're going to bring to the table. We've been entertained so far. Which MLS team, though, has stood out for you so far?
I mean, I think FC Dallas really took the show yesterday. 3-0 over Athletic Bilbao was a very strong result. We'll obviously know more today after we see them against Real Salt Lake in that very tough group. But FC Dallas, I think, the first day had the most impressive showing.
Mangacho's here. Good interplay for this Red Bulls team. JP Marin playing DeAndrea down the wing. DeAndrea has been willing to take on guys one-on-one when he's gotten the ball, but he's going to get called for the free kick. DeAndrea has been a threat. The Red Bulls have had a lot of goal-scoring opportunities throughout this game, more than you'd have to say than Recife. They haven't been able to get that goal, though, so far, but they continue to push now in the last 20 minutes of this second half.
Yeah, they've really moved the ball a lot faster and looked more confident and more willing to attack than Recife in this second half. So, again, you and I feel probably, or especially I feel, the first half penalty kick was a little soft. So you'd like to see him get rewarded from that perspective. But tough to break this team down.
Recife hasn't really felt that need to push for those goals with the 1-0 lead. Throughout the first half, I said earlier, very comfortable possession. Second half, though, the Red Bulls have been able to win it off them much more quickly, get it in the midfield and push forward. Felt like the first half was played in the final third of Recife. This second half has been much more even, if not in favor of the Red Bulls. Foul coming in here. Already seen 3 yellow cards issued. The foul on Pedro Vitor. No yellow card given, though. Just a talking to for Pedro Vitor. Left midfielder for this Recife team. Powder here, who's gotten forward 2 or 3 times in this game. It's a great effect. Trying to create for his teammate Casey. Casey chasing there, forcing the center back Iago to play it out. The Red Bulls will look to pin Recife in here so they can finally get themselves that goal. The Red Bulls are able to tie it up after 70 minutes plus stoppage time. We would go to a penalty kick, although Recife now an opportunity to maybe make it 2. Jefferson Thiago, the substitute, chasing. Kennedy plays it well wide to the feet of Teixeira. Red Bulls will look to counter now. They had an opportunity with Recife coming out of their shell a little bit. Now numbers back, but Saramago here is in. Casey trying to give him an option for the cross. Saramago slows it down, gets possession. Quick shot comes in. Casey with the second one, and in off Matias. 2 saves for the goalkeeper, but in the end, Kyle Casey gets the goal as his Red Bulls teammates mob him right in front of us here in the broadcast booth. The New York Red Bulls finally tie this game up 1-1. Saramago does a great job to get this cross in, and I think a surprise for everyone there. It looked like Gilby popping up on that near post with the early shot. Gets it in. Kyle Casey does the right thing. He follows it up, keeps his nose in front of goal, gets the rebound. Matias is not going to be happy conceding that goal. A good save on the first initial point-blank shot, but bobbles the second one into his own net. And Kyle Casey with the tying goal here in this game. So New York Red Bulls pull themselves level 1-1. Just under 20 minutes left to play here in this matchup between the two group leaders in the Premier Division. And Recife comfortably ahead through most of this game. The Red Bulls have had looks, and they finally get the goal, maybe a little bit against the run of play, but they finally got a break.
Well, this had been coming. We talked about how the Red Bulls had upped their game in the second half, moved the ball quicker, and they were able to tie it there really by getting numbers in front of goal and heaping the pressure on. And did they catch a break with the rebound coming off the goalkeeper's hands? Maybe, but certainly a break you feel like they deserved, or I feel like they deserved, given the way the first half went.
So a substitution for Recife, number 17, Victor, checks in. We'll confirm with you who he comes in for. Looks like he's going to slot into that center midfield as well. Potentially in place of the captain, Allison. It's a tough collision there between Kyle Casey and Iago, the center back. And it looks like Pedro Vitor, the left midfielder, has come out. Allison has pushed wide from center midfield, the goal scorer, the captain for Recife, as the substitute that we said, number 17, Victor, checks in.
So you got Victor and Pedro Vitor. So have fun with that.
And a call here. Matias Victor going down. He's calling for the free kick, grabbing his ankle. We don't know what the call yet is from the referee. It looks like he is going to give it a throw-in.
It's a throw-in. He didn't call the foul.
And Matias Victor, the fullback, has his cleat off now. Not happy with the call. And now slowly walking off while he yells back at the referee, Les Stalamak. Stalamak, early work that he had to do. His game has gotten a little bit more feisty as it's gone along. The throw in here for Elton. Iago clears, but right down the middle of the field. Perfect opportunity for the Red Bulls to pick that ball up. Teixeira, not a lot of help on that left wing. Loses possession on the cutback. Wellison, the substitute.
And David, after the early goal, the Red Bulls, you're looking at the game, you're facing a Brazilian team, strong performance in the first game, you're saying tie would be great here. They've gotten the goal, they're on top now. Go for the win, go for the 3 points, don't worry about a shootout. New York's on top right now. If anyone's going to get a winning goal, they're more likely. Obviously, Recife plenty capable of countering, but the Red Bulls feeling it right now.
Matias Victor back on the field. And interesting, while you were saying that, that ball went out long and the goalkeeper rushed to get it back in possession, back into play for Recife. I think Recife also, their mindset is to win this game, not to sit back for a tie. It should be an entertaining last 15 minutes of this game with both these teams looking for the full 3 points. And one of the nice elements of this shootout at a tie to potentially get the extra point is even if you tie, the other team can still get an advantage, and when such a tight group, you don't want to give that away. A substitution now for the Red Bulls. Number 9, Kyle Casey, coming off, and it looks like coming on for him is number 4, Kazu Shingapu.
My studies of Sagantosu have not prepared me to say that name with a whole lot of precision.
Shingapu, a graduate in '99 on this team. It's one of the younger parts of this team. Some of the teams coming to this tournament we mentioned earlier have players born in 2000, even 2001. This Red Bulls team not as young as that, but
You get applause from us.
and as a broadcaster, that can be tough, but he's been so active that we've consistently said his name and seen his number as he's moved through those paces. But he's been a really great threat, and when you see him, you see a big player, you think maybe he's going to be physical. But he uses that physicality, and he has great pace, great control to get himself openings for shots. Kennedy playing it to the feet of Deeds. Kennedy, a few points of interest in the first half, but in the second half has just had a quiet game for him. As Recife once again in an argument with the referee. Center midfielder João Eric claiming that they deserved a free kick there.
There's a couple of Recife jerseys up in the stands over there. They weren't too happy with that call.
We've seen them walking around, and it's one of those teams. Supporters are such diehards, and a lot of Brazilians in and around this area, an opportunity to come out and support their club that they rarely see in person. Noah Powder, once again, every time he gets forward, making something happen, flicked on almost perfectly into the path of Marin.
Really good work by Powder, and he got a handshake from Matias in the Recife goal afterward.
And Powder now 4 times in this game, maybe he's come forward, drew a yellow card, one time tackled down from behind as he broke through the midfield, and every single time he's able to get forward, he's able to give this team support. We'll look to see as this game clock runs down if the head coach Simon Nee maybe tries to push Powder a little bit higher, take some risks for the Red Bulls and try and get a victory. Down behind the play this time. It looks like João Eric himself coming down after a tackle from Marin. Jefferson Thiago has not seen a lot of the ball up top since he's come in at halftime. He set a goal last game against Seattle. Good interception there by Powder. Powder tries to play along for Saramago.
I'm a fan of Powder, David. He's won me over today. I hadn't seen him before.
And we mentioned in the first half, Trinidad and Tobago U17 captain in CONCACAF U17 qualifying, scored 2 goals while continuing to play from defense. His head coach Simon Nee was telling me one of them a free kick, direct free kick that he scored from outside the box. The other one a long strike. As we have 2 more substitution, another substitution coming up. And DeAndrea, who's had a great game, but now can maybe find his permanent jersey, comes off. And Petkovic comes on. Bratislav Petkovic. Looks like he'll go to left midfield. A substitution at fullback for Recife. It looks like it's going to be number 13, Nata, on in place for Matias Victor. Matias Victor, a talented player, had a good game, but frustrations over these last 5 minutes between him and the referee.
I think he was feeling banged up a little bit after that challenge on the ankle, so that could have also contributed to that substitution.
And maybe trying to avoid get a yellow card picked up for him. Shingapu here. Trying to play it off. Gilby looks to switch the field. The substitute here with the header and can't put it home. Petkovic, his first touch of the game is a chance on goal. Matias coming out, makes the save. Great job from the goalkeeper to read that play to get out and cover the danger.
Yeah, Matias has been good at making himself big and taking good angles to limit attacking options. Obviously, the goal came off his hands, as we see Zaire Bartley come on for the Red Bulls.
Zaire Bartley also at that U17 CONCACAF World Cup qualifying, playing for Jamaica in that tournament. He had a goal as well. Comes in, normally listed as a forward. We'll see where he'll play. But one thing we know is this Red Bulls team is going for this win. This coaching staff has consistently put in attacking substitutions here in the second half. Throw in here for Recife. Recife, strong first half, but they've been tested by the New York Red Bulls here in the second half. Just around 5 minutes left to play in this game. This Red Bulls team has brought in a whole new set of strikers into this game, or midfielders, to play behind Saramago. Petkovic, who had that early opportunity, his first touch in the game, a header on goal. He lost possession. Jefferson Thiago here with the shot. Kennedy, great job to stretch out and get that one. It looked like it took a deflection.
But David, Wellison ran for 25 yards uncontested before laying that ball off, and that's what the Red Bulls bench is upset about. Needs to be more pressure in the midfield. That's what they've been doing most of this half.
And 3 heavy changes in that attacking 3 in the midfield. So for the Red Bulls to come in and really get up to speed quickly. Chemistry obviously won't be an issue with these players who play together all year round. Saramago's cross there gets pushed out wide. The wind, a huge factor yesterday, hasn't been a factor so far today. Starting to feel a little bit of a breeze kick up now with just a few minutes. As you see that strike there, Xavier Kennedy hasn't had any work to do in the second half, stretches himself out wide to get to that shot cut back a little bit, so had to push himself across goal. It was a good save from him, cleanly taken. Matias, just that one mistake on the goal, but had a big save after, maybe made up for it on the save against Petkovic. Trying to play Saramago through. Matias reads it well. This Red Bull team pushing numbers forward, looking for a win here. Noah Powder wins that header. Linesman calling the foul there. The referee, Les Stalamak, taking it. Noah Powder has had some words for the ref earlier in this game. A little frustration with, I think, what they feel like is embellishment from this Recife team. I know you felt that way on the penalty kick attempt, or the penalty kick foul call as well. Now João Eric, a chance to take this free kick. Still alive on the top of the box.
One thing to keep in mind, we're obviously a couple minutes away from it, but if this game goes to a shootout, could very well decide the group. Only the group winner advances in this division of the tournament. These teams in Group A of the Premier Division. And obviously it would require getting wins tomorrow, or on Wednesday I should say, against Seattle in the case of the Red Bulls, Houston in the case of Recife, to put the pressure on whoever won the shootout. But likely you could see these teams finishing 2-0-1, which would mean the shootout would be the determining factor.
And that shootout, I think we've seen be a factor in the substitutions for these teams, thinking about either A, who you want on the field in case you do get to a shootout, but also pushing for the win. Never really want to go to a crapshoot situation with the shootout. You don't really control your own destiny if you tie this game, lose in the shootout, and then go into the next game. So part of the reason, along with the quality of play, I think we're seeing Red Bulls try and push for this victory.
And the good thing about it, one of the reasons it's in this tournament, is it means goal differential doesn't come into equation. You're not motivated to go beat somebody 4 or 5-0 just because you can. You're motivated to go out and play the game the way you normally would.
Unless you're Eintracht Frankfurt, of course, and then
Well,
that is what you do. Throw in here. Zaire Bartley takes it away. Bartley, born in New York City to Jamaican parents, moved down to Jamaica just shortly after he was born, lived there for 3 years, and then returned to New York City. But he says he gets the opportunity to go down every year. And, of course, we said an opportunity to represent that team. Always an honor to represent your national team and a challenge. Free kick called here.
Red Bull's furious about that. Everybody up off the bench.
It looks like it's going to go against Richard Wolf, I believe, the center back for the New York Red Bulls. So a free kick opportunity here. We saw a free kick from a similar distance for this Recife team here in the second half. It hit the wall. But none of the players who took that kick, who stood over that kick, are on the field now. Jefferson Thiago walking away, leaving it looks like to João Eric. Center midfielder already has had an action-packed game. Right-footed strike coming in, hits off the wall. Saramago looks to turn and counter. Blocked in the end. Recife wins it back. João Eric took that free kick. Looks like he tried to sneak it low and under the wall. Saramago puts the pressure on here as we enter stoppage time in this second half. The Red Bulls have played much better here in the second half. They got the tying goal. Offside's called here, as they got the tying goal in this second half, coming for Kyle Casey, the number 9 for this Red Bulls team. Great build-up on the goal. Opportunistic finish in the end. A bobble from Matias. We've seen a great first half from Recife, a great second half from the New York Red Bulls. The New York Red Bulls, I think, the stronger team throughout this game so far. Jonathan.
Yeah, they've had the edge. They've had the better of play. But, it looks more and more like it's going to come down to a shootout.
That one goes long. Matias rushing to get it back in. He may have to be the hero in the end of this game. We've seen one penalty kick shootout so far in this tournament. Tigres coming out on top of Orlando City during one of the 10 o'clock games, the earlier games today. All the games here on Field 4 at Toyota Soccer Stadium are, of course, streamed on MLSsoccer.com. This Generation Adidas Cup 2015 action. I'm David Gosh, joined by John Yardley for this entire tournament. We've seen some really good action so far on this field. And I think we've so far seen the two best MLS teams, and the New York Red Bulls and FC Dallas, but like you said, FC Dallas going to battle with Real Salt Lake later today, maybe for that title. Push down there, and the referee has no call on Richard Wolf. The Recife bench up in arms as we get the full-time call from our head official. And now we go to penalty kicks. Never a fun situation, always a little bit tough. Like we said, 35-minute halves. If this game does, as it did, end in a tie, we go to penalty kicks for an extra point. So the loser will get 1 point. In the standings, the winner will get an additional point. We'll get 2 points. The winner of this will move here into first place in the group.
Yeah. And again, for New York, they've been in this tournament before. They've been in shootouts in this tournament before, just to field over. I know it's only 3 players from this actual group. Obviously, Recife has seen shootouts before in Brazil, but I think a slight edge to New York coming into this. On the other hand, the height of Matias in goal could be a possible big advantage for Recife as he and Xavier Kennedy exchange fist pounds and a half hug as we get ready for the shootout.
Yeah, being a goalkeeper is a different animal a lot of times. Being a goalkeeper in a penalty kick feels like the world is against you, isolated by yourself. In the first penalty kick shootout, Tigres had 2 saves. No one missed the frame. 2 saves to win 4-2. Mason Deeds, and it looks like Matias at the center line, picking the side. Allison, the captain, of course, who scored the 1 goal. First 10 minutes of the game, penalty kick called against Mingachos for the New York Red Bulls. Allison drew the foul and then shot. We expect to see him shoot again, potentially first as captain. He slotted it calmly to the side of Kennedy. Then in the second half, the Red Bulls pushed for the tying goal throughout the first half. A lot of good opportunities. DeAndrea, Saramago, Deeds, our captain, had 2 looks on set pieces that he wasn't able to direct on goal. Went into halftime at 0-0. Second half was all the New York Red Bulls. They eventually got a goal through Kyle Casey. They had another opportunity to take the lead through the substitute Petkovic, his first touch of the game. A point-blank header saved by Matias and then well cleared by the goalkeeper. And now we go into penalty kick attempts.
Always interesting when you have a penalty kick in regulation, because both teams have seen what that shooter likes to do. They've seen even how the goalkeeper reacts to it. So curious to see if and where Allison shoots, as you mentioned, and how he approaches it.
Yeah.
And thankfully they've decided to take the penalty kicks closer
right in
to
front
us.
of us. It is always tough for the shooter because you then have that second level of the mental game of he knows where I'm going to go. Do I change it up? Do I stick the same? Sometimes a little bit of pressure. What we saw in the Orlando Tigres game, which I thought was really interesting, was both center backs for Tigres shot penalty kick attempts in that game. Both of them calmly displaced them. Personally, I'm a fan of defenders taking them. You see maybe a little bit less of flair in them.
You prefer the simplicity. Just
Pick
hit
a side
and hit it
it
hard.
A lot of strikers going top corner. A lot of strikers maybe trying to give you a couple stutter steps. Of course, here in America, we know Eric Cubo Torres, about a 15-step build up with 2 or 3 changes of speed. As you see the New York Red Bulls linking arms here.
Could have the Landon Donovan approach with the kiss your wrist 15 times before you shoot.
Which I think I would prefer over the 15 steps. A lot of different ways to go about it, but it's all the same. You put the ball down on a spot. You have one opportunity to score or not.
So again, Houston's at the bottom of this group with no points. Seattle is third with 3 points. Each of these teams is now on 4, 1 win and 1 tie. And the winner of the shootout will go top of the group, 5 points, with 1 game remaining on Wednesday.
We don't yet know. It looks like the New York Red Bulls will be the first to shoot. Matias making his way. So for the Red Bulls, you of course have to be one of the 11 that was on the field to shoot in this PK attempt. The first one to step up is Jared Gilby. He took all of their corner kicks, set pieces in this game. The opening PK shooter for Simon Nee.
And he's another guy who was here last year, played in 1 game in group play, 1 game in consolation play.
And the referee's talking now. It looks like potentially Recife has a shooter out there in Pedro Vitor who's not allowed to kick if he was subbed out. I just heard the referee say number 11 cannot kick.
I think what it is... No, wait. Red Bulls have 9 out there, plus the keeper and the shooter.
So they don't know the shooting order yet.
On. It's Saramago for New York. They were talking about New York's 11, and they're saying he has a knee injury, and they're wondering if they should take him off, in which case Recife would have to take off a player as well.
Gilby here with the first shot. Touched by Matias. A fantastic shot, though, from Gilby. Driven into that right post off the hands of Matias. He guesses right, but it goes in.
I'm telling you, this guy's big. He's got good reflexes. Not the best hands in the world at this age, but there's definitely a chance that he's going to impact where the Red Bulls are going to take their shots from now on.
Xavier Kennedy, you got to love him. We said gave the hug to Matias before the PKs, just came over, gave him a tap because he was able to touch it but not make the save.
He's part of the goalkeeper fraternity.
And now Allison steps up to shoot. We saw him, he put it to his right, slowly on the ground with his shot in regulation for the only goal. The captain for Recife now with his second penalty kick attempt of the day. Right-footed again, and this one's high and wide. He blasted to the same side. Kennedy did guess correctly going to the way he shot in the game. Allison starts it off with a miss. The Red Bulls leading early on 1-0, and it looks like Noah Powder now to step up, the fullback, to take a shot.
And I told you, I think that affected how Allison approached that, where he went. He wasn't going to hit the exact same penalty. He did pick the same side, but because he felt like he had to go top corner, expecting Kennedy to match the low shot, he wound up missing it.
We said earlier, Powder 2 goals with the U17 Trinidad and Tobago team, set piece taker, captain there. Here's the pressure now. Left-footed, calmly slotted home. And Noah Powder goes over, and he's going to give his goalkeeper a word of encouragement here. The Red Bulls leading now 2-0. This is a must-make shot for this Recife team.
I always say about shootouts, everyone talks about the first miss, and obviously the first miss is crucial. To me, the second miss is the biggest play in the game because it's such a momentum turner. You're either up 2 or you came from behind and you're back in it.
Looks like for Recife on the shooter, it's going to be their center back, Francisco. A left-footed shot as well. Same as Noah Powders that we just saw. Kennedy in net, guessed right on the first one. Guesses right on the second one and makes the big save and comes up with the fist pump. Xavier Kennedy has been huge in this PK shootout, and the New York Red Bulls leading 2-0, a chance to really take control here as the other fullback, Sean Teixeira, steps up for the third shot for the New York Red Bulls. Leading here, penalty kicks 2-0. Teixeira with the right-footed shot, his opportunity to really seize control. Short run up and saved. Simply taken by Teixeira. Put it well to the side. Matias guesses right. He guessed right twice now. He's guessed going to that left side of his. Got a touch on the initial shot by Gilby. Couldn't keep it out. Kept that one out. Gives his team a lifeline.
He's got such great length, to use a basketball term. Great reach, great wingspan for a goalkeeper. Again, maybe not the best hands, but in a shootout, you don't need to have great hands. And again, the Red Bulls have to think about these and put them in the corner every time. Even then, he still might get to him.
Now it looks like the center midfielder, João Eric, to shoot. Right-footed attempt from him. Try and get the first one in for Recife. And this one goes in. Slots it calmly, similar to what we saw from Allison in regulation. Xavier Kennedy guessing wrong this time for the first time, and Recife on the board.
So 2-1 New York. I just want to keep a camera on Xavier Kennedy the whole time. This guy has his shootout routine down. He doesn't watch when the other team shoots, and he's got the towel, he drapes it over his neck. He likes to jump up on the crossbar. I just like watching him. He's an entertainment aspect all to himself.
Zaire Bartley to step up now to shoot this one. Substitute late in the game, but a true natural goal scorer for this Red Bull team. And save, Matias. And he goes arms up, points to himself. This is me right here. A little bit of Cristiano Ronaldo after that one. Bartley tried to fake the feet. He stepped back to his left foot, switched over to the right foot, hit it strong. And the interaction between Matias and Kennedy has been so entertaining as well. Now you can see Kennedy, his goalkeeping routine.
These goalkeepers are awesome. They are the show. Yeah, I don't always love shootouts. This is a great shootout because these keepers are a blast to watch.
And one of the things that we tend to get from Brazilian goalkeepers is a little bit of flair. Kennedy bringing some himself. Now an opportunity for Recife to tie it up. The substitute, Wellison, should shoot. Right-footed shot saved off the post by Kennedy. What a save! Xavier Kennedy putting on a show. 2 PK saves so far. That was a perfectly hit shot there from Wellison. Power, curl to that right side, and Kennedy tips it off that post and out.
Wow, what a play. There's college coaches everywhere watching this one. Xavier Kennedy just did himself a favor.
And the other games have all ended, so players from the other team as well have come over to watch. And now the New York Red Bulls look to put this one away. Minkajos. Right-footed shot, put home with the right foot in the top left corner. The celebration after the New York Red Bulls run. They take control of this group in a penalty kick shootout after a 1-1 tie through regulation. Matias versus Xavier Kennedy is the story. The goalkeeper's putting on a show. 2 saves made for either goalkeeper, but in the end, The New York Red Bulls put it away. Mingachos with the goal. He got the foul called on him to concede the penalty kick in regulation. And you see there Xavier Kennedy running over to his teammates. Man, did this guy put on a show.
Don't forget your lucky towel, Xavier, because you're going to want that thing for the rest of the tournament. What a performance from Xavier Kennedy. He doesn't turn 16 until mid-April.
So the New York Red Bulls, a 1-1 tie with Sport Recife in regulation, a 3-1 win in penalty kicks, 2 saves for either goalkeeper here. The New York Red Bulls are going to pick up an extra point. They're going to move to 5 points in the group. Recife moves to 4 points. Seattle still at 3 points. And the Houston Dynamo bringing up the rear with 0 points in the Premier Division. A fantastic game. Great play in open play on both halves. Very entertaining penalty kicks. And we'll be back here later with all of your action.
One point to point out. So this sets up really interesting final day in this group. Recife's playing Houston, and I'm used to work for Houston. I know the team well. You got to figure Recife is a heavy favorite there. So if they get the win, they're on 7. That means the Red Bulls have to beat Seattle in regulation or get a shootout win. Last year, the Red Bulls scored in the last minute to tie Seattle and beat them in a shootout, ended up costing Seattle a chance to advance. So there's some history there between the Red Bulls and the Sounders. They're going to go head-to-head on Wednesday, and Seattle will have a chance to play spoiler, outside chance to advance outright if Houston was able to pull an upset. So a lot to watch in Group A on Wednesday morning right here. We won't have that game for you live, unfortunately. David and I will be keeping an eye on it while calling games for you on MLSsoccer.com. San Jose and Palmeiras is our next broadcast tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central on MLSsoccer.com. I'll have the call. David will have the color.
So New York Red Bulls able to get a victory over an international team. MLS continue to push strong in this tournament here. The Generation Adidas Cup, the 2015 Cup, all your action from Frisco, Texas here on MLSsoccer.com. For John Yardley and David Goss, we look forward to having you join us later today.